You can hear this. You are not alone. This is the resistance.
What's up, everyone? This is the Tin Man with the Resistance. If you're watching this, you are the Resistance, and I've got another fucking beer! And apparently, my last video pissed some people off. Of course, you know me, I love my shock factor. Anything to get the message across. But apparently, sometimes the message gets lost in translation, and people think I say or am implying something when I meant something entirely fucking different! For an example, an old friend of mine, an old activist, mistook something I said. In fact, I've got him on the line right now. My old buddy, King Motherfucking Cole. One of the first activists I ever met and networked with. I got him on the line. I'm going to go ahead and let him jump in here and lay out his reservations and what he thought I said and what his interpretation of that video was. So, Cole, my friend, go ahead.
Okay, so your description is what disturbed me the most. It didn't so much piss me off as it did made me feel kind of let down. I expected more from you. When I seen you calling this girl or saying that she was defending pedophiles or whatever, that's fine. You can say she's defending pedophiles, but I felt as I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I felt as if you were saying that it was the left that's defending this type of behavior. And the left does not defend people supporting pedophiles at all, by any means.
Okay. And you took that as I was directly attacking the left, insinuating that all people who are Democratic are in bed with this kind of ideologies?
Yeah, I felt as if you were indirectly almost being kind of passive-aggressive and pointing your finger.
Okay, well, let me address this. First of all, you and I both know left and right does not exist. It's just show pony bullshit, the illusion of choice. And the only time it ever really comes into play is whichever ideology or team is getting propagated. You have the media who either claims left of the paradigm or right of the paradigm, but are all, in a sense, the same fucking vulture. You know, two wings to the same fucking bird, two heads to the same fucking snake. It's
right.
The
it's not that
choice.
They don't exist. It's just they're from the same bird.
Yeah, and I kind of relate it to the wrestling aspect because, you know, you have your good guys, you have your bad guys, and all these mainstream media sites, whether left or right, it's just character assignment. Okay, they're fiction. So, but in saying that this came from the left or this came from the right, I'm not saying that all liberals are for this or all conservatives are for this. I am merely saying this particular incident came from this source who claims this ideology, who claims this side of the coin. Now, that is not to imply that all liberals are pedophiles or even support pedophilia, because I know a great many who would love to see pedophiles castrated. Okay? So I'm not implying that all people support incest or bestiality or even pedophilia who claim to support the, quote, liberal left. That is not where I was trying to come from at all.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Why did you fail to mention the conservative media in your description? You only referred to the liberal media.
Because the conservative media was not a factor in this. In fact, the conservative media, surprisingly, has been insanely silent about such issues. The only time I ever see anything remotely relating to these topics in which that were addressed in the video, such as incest, bestiality, pedophilia, and so on and so forth, always seems to be coming from the media subscribing to the left, or comes from
You know, have you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes?
How both of them actually.
It's these southern conservative type people that are notorious for these incestual type relationships.
Oh yeah, I live down south now, dude. I live in Tennessee. I even ask these people, I will go point blank and say, is there something in your fucking drinking water, something that you're not telling me? Because for some reason, the vast majority of people out here, not everybody, but the vast majority seem to be dumber than fucking mud.
Yeah, over in the South, I hate to say it, dude, but that's one of the things they're known for, some sister cousin love and stuff. It's
I mean,
the left wing that's done or been guilty of doing that.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, you know, Lucid and I actually looked into this when we were researching it in the past. Surprisingly enough, northern states like Utah have one of the highest incestual interest rates in the country. They're more inclined to look up incest-based pornography on the internet, whether fantasy or literal, than any other state in the fucking country. And that's not a southern state, and it's really taking, I'm not even sure what the word would be, really taking the world by storm, so to speak, and really getting traction.
I some shit about Utah, but I will say the laws over in the South, whether, I'm not sure if it's West Virginia or Virginia, one of the two, they're pretty flocky. There's laws over there in the South that allow bestiality.
Oh yeah, I mean, in New Jersey, I read that it's actually not against the law for a brother and sister to knock boots. Okay, and I can tell you, living down south, they're actually very strict on their laws. In fact, weed is still illegal out here. They treat weed the same way that they treat meth. Okay, that's how fucking tight-necked these motherfuckers are. It's vintage, Bible-thumping, traditionalist ideologies. It's like these people live in the fucking Stone Ages as far as the laws and ideologies are concerned.
Exactly.
You know, so I won't argue that.
I appreciate you saying this, because over there, just you saying this kind of stuff could get you in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, I say it right to them.
For you to admit that.
Well, it's a fact of life, and I've said it right to them. And even many of the residents out here will agree with me and have agreed with me in the past on these issues. They agree that their legislative representatives don't exactly live in the real world, and that for the vast majority of these people are caught up in the traditional Christian notions of society and don't want to evolve or grow.
Alright, well, enough bashing on the South. Let me go ahead and bash on the North a little bit. There are some things that the North does that is pretty upsetting as well. There's this, it's where I see Hillary Clinton. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the North as a whole, but I would say there is some things that Democrat type people do, and I wouldn't say all Democrats. I would say the upper like echelon type Democrats. Same probably with the conservatives or Republicans. There's probably a group of them at the top that are somewhat annoying to the lower tier, I guess you could call it, or the almost like average day conservative.
Yeah.
Set this calm my phone.
That's why you're good.
You see Hillary Clinton or Obama doing some messed up shit, whether it be Benghazi or Obama passing the NDAA bill. That's not what all liberals or all Democrats stand for. These are just a certain handful of people that have taken it upon themselves to pass these bills, and they pretty much fool the rest of the Democrats and the rest of the liberals into voting for them. And I don't want to say it's all the liberals' faults, because there's Republicans that take play in that as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's the same, like you said earlier, it's the same bird with two different sides of the wing.
Yeah.
And they're going to cause a civil war, because right now I feel as if this was set up. This was set up for failure.
Oh yeah.
And both sides are guilty.
Yeah. And you're right in that respect. But we need to realize here that history tends to repeat itself, especially if you don't remember. I mean, you've probably seen my posts regarding the statues getting removed in the South, you know, because they want to erase their, quote, racist history. But the fact of the matter is, the Civil War and the South's separation from the Union initially had nothing to do with slavery. That was just an aftermath to make the whole thing look good. You know, to make the, quote, United States in the North look good, like they're coming in defending the black man and all that, when, truth be told, they really didn't give two flying fucks about that.
Well, look here, I don't know.
Was the same demographics that we have today.
Why do you think the Civil War started?
Honestly, it's the same demographics that we have today. Conflicting ideologies, you know, one side wants to do this, the other side doesn't want to do this, and they get into these little bitch sessions like we have today, the whole divide and conquer. That's exactly what happened then and is what's happening now. The divide and conquer, well, you're not doing what I want, or this guy's not my president because I didn't vote for him bullshit. You know, it's stupid, childish nonsense that's being propagated by the media, whether you're liberal left or conservative right. It's being propagated by both sides for the purpose of divide and conquer.
Well, you're kind of right there, because back in the day, in the slavery day, there were Democrats wanting slavery more so than Republicans. Republicans were actually the ones that stood up and fought against slavery in some aspects, although there was a lot of Republicans that did have slaves.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them only wanted to end the slavery because they didn't want to have to compete with Democrats that did have slaves. And truly, the only people that were really against slavery, as far as I'm concerned, were the people, I think they're called the abolitionists or something to that effect.
Yes.
They were the ones that really fought to end slavery. They wanted it ended right then and there. So I do respect Republicans in that regard, but right now, Republicans, as far as I'm concerned, are adding fuel to the fire when they're out there killing down they live by stars and bars, Confederate flag. What get Donald Trump out there and go and build a wall, create more division, have a Berlin Wall? It's just...
Oh my God, I think I just walked outside. You did that way too well. You did that way too damn well. And, you know, you're right in certain respects, you know. And I see it down here as well. You know, even people will say that Abraham Lincoln wasn't their president. And will friggin' rip apart the $5 bill. Or I actually know a guy who is a Lincoln impersonator. He'll go out, you know, dressed up as Abe Lincoln on holidays and whatnot, you know, do photo ops and shit with the kids. It will actually cause a lot of contention here in the South.
Okay, well,
so I get what you're saying.
Right now, I want to tell the people real quick what happened with me and you. I unfriended you on Facebook because of that video. But now that we've discussed this, it's never too late to admit your wrongs, and I'm admitting that I was wrong for unfriending you because I may have misunderstood your video, and you can admit that it's not necessarily just the right or just the left, it's the right as well, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening in America right now. It seems as if I don't want to. I am going to say it. I feel as if people of the government has set us up for failure, and it's playing out perfectly. It's a divide and conquer technique. They're going to have a bunch of chaos so that they can come in and provide the order out of chaos.
Exactly.
And if we wake up and start doing things to come together and unite, and instead of abolishing our government, fix our government, come together, fix the government, make the government for the people and by the people again instead of for the government and by the government, things are never going to change.
Exactly.
We have to fix it.
Exactly, and that's what I've been saying for years. And I will play the keywords, you know, if it gets people's attention and gets them watching the videos and makes them fucking think, yeah, I will say the offensive content. I will use the terminology that gets their attention. You know, I will paint the door pink or fucking the colors of the rainbow, and if that gets their attention and gets them to walk through the door and peek in and go, oh, what's going on in here? Yeah. Yeah. But then, you know, you and I started talking. What happened? You were pissed off at first, but then you and I started talking, and then boom! Absolute beauty coming together, and look at where we are now on the same page with what you just said.
That's what's going to happen if the government thinks they're smart, but they're not that smart. By trying to divide us, they're actually going to unite us. We're going to find a common enemy. Meaning, I think it would be secret societies up there at the top, whether it be the Bilderberg, CFR, Trilateral Commission, you know, Freemasons, Eastern Stars, whatever it may be. We're going to come together and start looking at things as a whole and seeing who's at the top.
Yeah.
And I want to leave it at that. I got to go. Soapy Ninja from hell.
Alright, you take it easy, man, and I'm going to go ahead and finish out this video.
Alright, peace out, broski.
Peace, bro. And in conclusion to that shite, all I can really say is this. Yeah. The South's got its share of problems. The North's got its share of problems. The, quote, liberal left has got its problems and its faults. The conservative right has its faults and its problems. But here's the bottom line. Just like the left and right, the Republican and Democrat are all both two wings to the same bird. The South and the fucking North are all part of what is known as the United States of America. And you know, whether you agree with certain political ideologies or you're from this region or that region, it doesn't fucking matter. What fucking matters is that regardless of where we're from, we're getting fucking screwed. Okay? So, all our petty differences aside, take that shit and shove it up your ass. If you fuck your sister, I don't care. Okay? That's your fucking business. Okay? I don't give a fuck about that fucking shit. Okay? If you have a higher IQ, I don't give a shit. Or you have a lower IQ, I don't give a shit. If you're black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit. We're all in the same boat. We're all getting screwed. Okay? And that's what matters. You know, so forget the petty fucking bullshit. Let's look at the situation for what it is and do something about it. Okay? Screw the minuscule bullshit and let's get to the root of the fucking problem. Okay? Now I can make whole other videos on the subcontext and moralities and whatnot, but why? Okay? Why pander to that? You know, the reason I addressed the pedophilia thing in the first place was because it was so stupid and so fucking wrong that it just needed to be addressed. And that's said and done. Most people have a fucking brain in their fucking skull, regardless of where they're from or what fucking flag they wave or what color their skin is. Okay? They have a brain in their fucking skull. They have a level of intelligence to know whether or not something's out of place in this fucking world. The question isn't what's out of place and why, because we already know. The question is, what the fuck we're going to do about it? So let's not worry about our petty little differences, because we're always going to have our differences. Well, what's the worldwide resistance founded on? The idea that we can come together for one common goal, despite our differences. Knowing that despite everything else, despite our difference in ideology or backgrounds or whatever, we can come together and find a common ground. That's what the worldwide resistance is and has always been intended to be. The common ground. The common banner that everyone can get behind and say, enough is enough, the bullshit stops here. I'm the Tin Man with the Resistance. If you're watching this, you are the Resistance.